So ladies and gentlemen, for the World Cloud Show Africa, for the opening keynote on cloud governance, future of data centers transforming Africa's digital landscape, Dr. Ahmedin Mohammed, State Minister at Ministry of Innovation and Technology, Ethiopia, is unable to join us. But we do have representing Dr. Ahmedin, Dr. Fikade Getahun, who is a Senior Strategic Advisor, Digital Transformation Program at the Ministry of Innovation and Technology. He's somebody who has an expertise in the ICT sector with 14 plus years of experience at different capacities, being the ICT advisor, researchers, ICT project manager, developer, system analyst, and educator. He's published 20 plus research publications in peer-reviewed journals and international conference. With this, I'd now like to call on your stage and screen, Dr. Fikade at the World Cloud Show Africa. Thank you so much, Dr. Fikade, for joining us. With this, the stage and screen is all yours. Over to you.
Thank you, host. Thank you all. As said, I will present the slide prepared by Dr. Ahmedin. He's not able to join us today for another urgent matter. The topic he has prepared is cloud governance, future of data center, transforming Africa's digital landscape. And the keyword for this talk are, you can say, like three: cloud governance, digital transformation, Africa, and mainly the governance issue. To start this talk, let's take the digital transformation strategy of Africa. As you all know, the strategy has set its own vision, which is to integrate and create inclusive digital society, mainly targeting Africa. And this vision has a target to create and improve the quality of life of African citizens. This will be in line with, the African 2063 strategy, which is in line with the SDG goal, particularly the goal of the SDG goal of 1 and 2, targeting poverty, ending poverty and hunger. In this strategy, the main goal is, creating a standard of living, increasing the quality of life, maintaining the well-being of all citizens. And for that, there will be a need to increase income, create new jobs, creating a decent work, so that the SDG goal 1 and 2 will be addressed. The strategy has already identified, a number of things. It has identified cross-cutting themes like the digital content, the digital ID, working on emerging technologies, working on cybersecurity and the like. And above those cross-sector critical sectors are identified, like the digital industry, trade and finance, e-government, education, and all. All this will be, the digital transformation will be, entertained on the basis of or the existence of foundational pillars. These pillars are already identified and used by a number of African nations, including our government, the Ethiopian government, in which we have crafted and approved the digital strategy 2025, in which 4 pillars are identified even in ours, and the main pillars which are identified even in the digital strategy of Africa are enabling environments and policies, infrastructure, in which this includes shared resource, data centers and energy, the digital skill and human capacity that will work on the digital strategy, and the digital innovation and entrepreneurship. For this talk and the message, the focus is on the digital infrastructure, which is in one way or the other related to the shared resource. So the point is the digital transformation strategy of Africa in one way or the other addresses and take into account the need to have a shared resource like data center and cloud. Extending this further, let's take the notion of digital transformation. Now it is true that everyone is talking about digital transformation, and since we are in COVID, and this topic is very much hot. If you ask this question to a number of experts and owners, the reason to implement digital strategy or digital transformation is quite different. Deloitte performed a survey in 2021 to understand why companies are working on digital transformation, and the main takeout from the survey was three things. One is improving efficiency, which covers, which improves efficiency to some extent. That covers around 80% of the reasons, whereas the other reason is maintaining and engaging human resource, human-related experience, and the last is business outcome. So the point in here, the reason companies are implementing, digital transformation is not to generate revenue, rather to improve productivity and the like. And taking this into account, there is a need to work on digital transformation so that countries will benefit out of it. Another point that deserves to consider is which are a starting point to move forward toward this cloud is the number of or the size of population connected to the internet. As you see in here, like 52% of the population is connected. You think close to 3.4 devices per person, which is higher, and this shows a need to have a higher speed. The speed of connectivity is double in 2020, and the traffic per person is growing as well. And this is a survey by Cisco. As you see from the strata, the IP connectivity is as well growing very much. It was increased by 300% through 5 years. So the sense is, as the number of machines that are connected to the internet are increasing, the need to have a shared data center is increasing as well. And knowing that the devices which are connected to from Ethiopia, from Africa as a nation, is, even though that's not much higher, as can be seen from the diagram in the cloud traffic, which is less for the entire African nation, but it is showing a steady increase. The current traffic is mainly from the North America, followed by Asia and the Pacific, and then the other is from the Europe. But there is a steady increase from the African nations. So through time, it is likely that the number of access to the cloud we believe it will go down. Knowing that higher population is being connected to the internet either through a shared resource, and through the cloud, from a forecast which is already done by Gartner in recently by 2021, the number of cloud services related to end user is increasing, and these services the cloud services are related to desktop as a service, infrastructure as a service, cloud management and security service, application as a service, and the like. So a higher size of a population getting connected to the cloud and using the cloud for a number of reasons. As you all know, the type of cloud computing we have are quite different. There is a so-called public cloud, private cloud, and the hybrid one. So to see and show the reason we need to have a cloud governance, let us see a cloud functional difference architecture, which was in a way published by ITU in 2017. And this reference architecture identified 4 layers of cloud, a user layer, access layer, a service layer, and the resource layer. Well, the main point I need you all to take a close attention are the access layer and the resource layer. The reason is, as you know, everyone will access the cloud through a user layer, in which you will have certain mechanisms. User functions will be exposed to the users, so that they can access or you could access the cloud. In this access layer, particularly if you take the inter-cloud function, it is likely that one cloud will get connected to another cloud. So there will be a need to create some kind of integration, and that will be through the inter-cloud function, which exists not only in the access layer, but also in the resource layer. The service layer is basically associated to the different services a cloud service provider is going to expose, which will be related to the points I have tried to show in the previous slide, like exposing a networking as a service, infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, software as a service, and the like, and orchestration could be done as well. Across the board, there are a number of cross-layer functions, and the main one I need you all to perceive is the security. Well, of course, security is something that has to be done across the board, or it is a vertical service. When a cloud user and cloud service providers are working, security is a tough issue, and that needs a governance, because the two parties have got their own risks. For instance, from the cloud user perspective, they want to make sure that they will not lose any governance of access. There is no locking on one service provider, and it is likely that the loss of information and asset is not that much higher. From the service provider as well, there are a number of risk elements. Protection is one. Bylaw conflict is another one. Since cloud providers will allow users to get integrated, that integration will be a point for security attack. So insecure administration of API is another one. Data may not be available, and so on and so forth. So for all this, there is a need to have some kind of governance. So the point is, we need governance in a way. But before we say why we need a governance, let's see the shift when we move to a cloud. As you know, if your resource is in one place, on-premise, everyone knows the whereabouts of the data, the resource, and who is controlling what is known. Access is known by who is accessing the resource is known. Any auditor of the system can observe what is happening in that data set. So the security team can get engaged. Now the question is, when we are moving to the cloud, where is our resource? Who is accessing the data? Who is backing up our data? And so on and so forth. And these risks are somehow needs to be, in a way, to be answered. So answering this challenge, risk element is very important. And these are reasons somehow to move toward this having a cloud governance. So the reason we need to have a cloud governance could be to support organizational control. Whoever is going to work on a cloud wants to control, wants to have some level of integration. They want to have a trust on the data and they want to maintain the value of their business. So cloud governance is very much important in this perspective. So what is a cloud governance? I could say that, referring the literature, a cloud governance is defined to be a set of roles which contains a number of policies, specific policies, principles that will be used to provide a cloud computing service, and it will help decision making on the basis of a criteria and the policy related to planning, architecture, how to acquire, deploy, perform operation, and the like. And by having this cloud governance, we'll have a chance to optimize operation, risk will be minimized, so that whoever is working on a cloud will comply to certain standard. And of course, since a cloud is going to be a shared resource, our finance will be, a minimum. So for this, we need to have the policy, which will be the set of protocols that will be used to regulate, create, and review anything and everything by different users, including executive managers and the IT expert. And the policy will refer to the standard, how to monitor the infrastructure and the application related to security. Since our applications are going to run from the cloud, we need to have programming standard and the like. So I will raise certain concern when we have a cloud. One concern is a contractual concern. When we move toward this, the cloud, particularly if we include the private one, there is a need to consider a contractual issue for both parties, having roles and responsibilities related to data, who will protect it, for how long, and what will happen when the service provider is no more there. Data protection and privacy is an issue. Sovereignty related to data is very much important. And what the sovereignty rule states is it relates to the rule that will be applied as with respect to the data storage and processing. And it said that the location in which a data is stored and processed is the law of the country where the data is stored and processed is the governing one. And this will violate the sovereignty of countries. And probably this could be a good reason to have a data center that is targeting the African nations, because most African nations have got pretty much comparable data protection, personal data protection proclamation. So that will be a good reason to have a cloud that is targeting Africans. As I already took so much time, I moved to my conclusion. As you know, the African data center market is increasing from 2 billion to a forecast of 5 billion, with an increment of 15%. And the main reasons which are identified for this are four. One is the availability of renewable energy. GERD is a good example, for instance, from the African, from the Ethiopian side. The contribution of energy, our energy source is not only hydropower, wind and solar are as well there. This is a fact all over Africa. Governments are supporting digital economy as a main pillar. The storage is increasing as well. fiber connectivity is going up, and a number of sectors are generating huge collection of data from a different sector. So it is a high time for Africa to have reliable and shared cloud infrastructure that takes into account the rules and the regulations of the nations. I thank you and sorry for taking so much time. Back to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Fikadi.